All right, so today I wanted to talk about the issues around, finance YouTube, financial YouTube, whatever you want to call it. The whole FTX thing has exposed a lot of this stuff, but I think it was pretty obvious even before. I've talked a little bit about this, but I think that this is a really big issue, especially because as far as the younger generation is concerned, they don't care as much about the existing way of doing things, right? And I think in a lot of ways that's a good thing. But the problem is that you get these guys and girls that have no business being in the position they're in, that do stuff like this, that end up in these kind of positions, right? And again, the first thing I would stress here is that I believe in capitalism. I believe in the free market 100%. I'm not necessarily, don't get me wrong, I guess is the right way of putting it. I'm simply making a point to make a point here in that a lot of these people that are very popular on YouTube, and again, I don't mean to pick on Kevin O'Leary here specifically. I don't think he's the worst of the bunch, but this is simply Kevin O'Leary says 15 million payout from FTX was wiped out and crypto firms collapsed. So this is the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that, like, if you take FTX, like, they were literally paying people or offering people what amounts to millions of dollars to shill for them, right? I've seen these guys, again, I've never seen the actual amount of money, but some of these people that I follow, some of the good ones, have said, yeah, I've literally been offered, ten, $20,000 a month, or, 100,000, $200,000 simply to show for some of these companies, right? Whether it's FTX, BlockFi, Celsius, like the list goes on and on. And this is a massive problem, right? That at the end of the day, the way you make money now, at least in this space, is not for the right reasons, right? I mean, look at YouTube, right? Like who when you look at the finance YouTubers, the biggest ones, are they the ones that are giving the best advice? I don't think so. I mean, even like your Dave Ramsey's of the world, right? I mean, Dave Ramsey recently is taking his victory lap, now that Bitcoins came down even more. But what they aren't telling you is that Dave Ramsey's been bearish on Bitcoin since it was in the hundreds of dollars, right? I mean, Peter Schiff, right? I mean, I think that he's pretty well spot on virtually everything other than crypto and gold and the dollar. But I mean, when it comes to economics, very good. But again, a lot of these guys, and again, there's another podcast that I follow just for run of the mill, stock talk. And these guys are very good when it comes to just general stock stuff. But they venture out into crypto and some of these other things. And it's like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. And, it was funny because one of the guys on the podcast literally, like, I don't even know if it was a year ago. It might have been less than a year. I don't remember exactly. But, they had a call come in and it was about Ethereum. And the guy didn't even know what Ethereum was. But yet they're saying, oh, crypto, it's so risky, and like all the usual FUD about crypto, right? And I'm not a fan of a lot of the crypto stuff either. I'm more of a, Bitcoin is the play, right? But that is the problem, is that you have a lot of these people that are giving advice when they have no business giving advice. And again, I'm not saying they should be censored in any way, shape, or form, right? Again, I believe in the free market. I believe that the best way for people to learn their lesson is the hard way, right? So the way people will learn their lesson when it comes to this kind of stuff, when it comes to, like, let's just take the crypto space, right? The way people will learn their lesson in the crypto space is by investing in these scammy coins, right? And by that, I mean 99.9% of them, right? I mean, if you want to name names, it's Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, XRP, like, they're all scams. I mean, scam isn't the right word, but they're not actually decentralized cryptocurrencies, right? They are glorified unregistered securities, right? That is the problem, right? And again, the other problem too when it comes to this kind of stuff is that um, the goal, like if you want to be successful, the incentives are so wrong, right? Another good example of this is, I mean, if you want to make money talking about stocks on YouTube, there's there's several ways you can go about it. But the tried and true successful way of doing it is the classic, whenever the market's going up, it's, stonks to the moon, it's YOLO, it's all this kind of stuff. And then when they're going down, it's the, short the market, sell everything, the thumbnails with the weird faces and stuff like that. And it's like, that's everything that's wrong with the existing space, right? That is everything that is wrong with the existing space, in my opinion, right? The people that should be the most, in a lot of ways, the people that should be the most successful at the end of the day will be, right? Warren Buffett, right? The most successful investor of all time, right? And if you want to look at the YouTube and finance kind of people that should be successful, it is the people that are like, yeah, you should be practicing the Warren Buffett strategy, right? The Warren Buffett strategy, at least my interpretation of it is, you simply buy very good quality companies when they are cheap and you hold them over the long run, right? It is as simple as that. Now, again, the big question there is what is a good company and what is cheap, right? Cheap, I think, is relatively easy to figure out. I just made a video about that. But what is a good company? Again, that's debatable. But at the end of the day, I don't even think that's that debatable, right? Companies that don't have excessive amount of debt, companies that are consistently growing cash flow, companies that are profitable, companies that aren't issuing massive amounts of shares, right? Companies that preferably that are buying back shares, right? If they're paying a dividend, they're growing that dividend, right? It's not that complicated, right? But again, I just wanted to talk about this because, again, I think a lot of people have lost a lot of money. But the big question is, and this comes back to my philosophy, is that you need to know what you're investing in and why you're investing in it, right? If you put money in a very good quality company and it goes down, and nothing fundamental has changed about the company, there's no reason you should sell, right? That's why there's no reason that at least, again, everything here, in my opinion, I'm going to stress that. Always everything, my opinion. But that's why I haven't sold any Bitcoin and why I continue to buy, because nothing fundamental has changed, right? The things that have fundamentally changed about the crypto space is the scammy coins, right? The virtually every other coin than Bitcoin, right? I can probably count on one hand the amount of cryptocurrencies that I legitimately would consider. I do have some and some other ones, but that I would legitimately consider as legitimate, right? And the way is very simple. Number one, they are truly decentralized, not they just claim they're decentralized, like Ethereum and some of these other ones do. They're going to be proof of work, not proof of stake. If they're proof of stake, that's 100% for sure. You shouldn't be considering them. If they have an individual or a corporation that the government can go after, like Ethereum, like XRP, like Solana, like Cardano, the list goes on and on and on, then yeah, you shouldn't be putting any money in them because eventually the government will go after them, right? So again, I just kind of wanted to rant a little bit about this. But again, the main point is very simple, that the only way people will learn their lesson is the hard way, right? So for people to learn their lesson, they're going to have money on an exchange or crypto on an exchange, and FTX is going to have to happen, right? Because at the end of the day, you should be holding your own keys, right? That is the fundamental essence of the Bitcoin philosophy, right? And this is another reason why people who lump crypto as, it's one and of the same, right? This is just another example of proof that an example of someone who doesn't know what they're talking about, right? If they lump all cryptos together, because at the end of the day, comparing Bitcoin to XRP is like comparing Apple to to Tattooed Chef, right? They are infinitely the differences cannot be overstated, right? And that is the problem, right? people need to get this stuff through their heads. Like, that is the fundamental problem. Um, what are some other things, right? The other things are, again, the average person just doesn't seem to realize just the extent to which the incentive of just how off the rails people can go, right? And again, this is like, I know I've said this, but this is the problem with the existing advice in that there's too many people nowadays. And again, the other point I would bring up here, and the point I would bring up to kind of to prove this, is everybody that I talk to, not everybody, but the majority of people I talk to about investing, like, I don't think I've ever heard someone saying, talk about the traditional, like I said, buy really good companies, hold them for the long run. Everybody is, what crypto are you in? Are you day trading? Are you day trading crypto? Are you trading options? Are you trading this? Are you trading that? And it's like, again, the way to be successful, like the tried and true way to be successful as an investor, is to buy very good companies at a good price and hold them over the long run. That strategy is the most simple by far, and it is the most tried and true by far, right? I would acknowledge that there are successful day traders, right? But the ease at which it can become to be a successful day trader versus a successful just simple buy and hold, like they're vastly different. Because again, if there was a very, very easy repeatable strategy for being a successful day trader, everybody would do it, right? Because why, if you can make more money in the short run, why would you make less money in the long run, right? So this is the problem. Now, again, like I say, I think there is good day traders out there. The problem is that, again, how much work goes into it and how easy is it to do? Because if it takes massive amounts of time and massive amounts of effort versus simply buying and holding good companies, then why would you do it, right? So again, like I said, I think that, and people probably say, okay, what is your solution? And I've kind of already alluded to it, but I'll leave it at, again, the free market should simply be allowed to operate, right? Let these scammy companies like FTX and the list goes on, let them go out of business, let them fail, and let the actual legitimate ones pick up that market share, right? It's not complicated, right? The big problem that comes around is that people demand all this government intervention, but the problem is that when the government gets involved, it doesn't solve the problem, because the incentive for the government is not to fix the problem, right? The incentive for the government is simply to appease the mob, right? And to level the playing field, or whatever garbage term they're going to use. But at the end of the day, that doesn't fix the problem, right? Because again, the government does not care about the average person, right? The government does not care about the average person, right? And the social media companies are another big problem as well. And that, again, like simply the YouTube algorithm, right? People don't seem to realize just how important the YouTube algorithm is, or any other algorithm, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, it doesn't matter, right? The algorithm is the key to being successful, right? If Warren Buffett, gave out all his secrets, like literally, gave everything, right? Spilled all the beans, right? All the secrets. And you took Ray Dalio, Peter Lynch, like all these guys got together and they, disguised their voices, right? And they didn't show their faces, and they simply put up these, boring titles with, boring thumbnails. I guarantee you they wouldn't become overly popular, sorry. And that is the other really big problem that I will leave it on here, is that the way you get popular is like I said, it's the when things are good, it's the YOLO mentality, and then when things are bad, it's the sad faces and the crying faces, and like these, like I say, the crazy thumbnails, and it's it's simply overreacting, right? That's the thing. The market goes down 2 or 3%, and people act like, oh, it's the biggest crash since the Great Depression. Then it's up 2 or 3%, and it's risk on again, right? That is the problem, right? That is a massive problem. And again, the solution is simply to stop listening to these people, right? Stop listening to them. So anyway, I've gone on too long here, so I'm going to leave it there. If you liked the video, again, please hit that like and subscribe. I'd very much appreciate it, and stay tuned for more.